What's going on, Planet? We're in San Diego for an open source conference. What is open source? Let's find out. As someone who doesn't know how to code, I really wanted to answer the question, what is open source? I went to the Open Source Summit held by the Linux Foundation to find out. This is one of the biggest gatherings of open source developers. My first question was, can you explain open source in a way that I can understand?
Open source is when you have a resilient data scientist helping out a photographer.
I guess he's right. All of my videos are, in a big way, open source. I'm looking to work with others and to collaborate. But that still begs the question, why open source?
Don't try to keep everything to yourself, but try to share it.
Have you learned nothing about sharing?
And hopefully, also other people will be able to use it and then give something back.
So if you openly share something, you'll have more people that can contribute. And the more people working together, the better. But why help each other?
I like to make people happy.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel.
Seeing they smile in their faces.
So if I have an idea for a project, for example, cat laser tag. When you launch a project, anyone can openly contribute to it. But how can the open source movement solve really big problems? You know, problems like climate change. I got to talk with Dr. Goodman, the director of LF Energy, and explore how she uses open source to decarbonize our planet.
What we need is to inspire, a whole new generation of power system engineers who go, you know what, this is actually super cool. And it is a really hard problem to solve, and I want to go to work every day solving a problem that is going to keep us from becoming extinct.
LF Energy is using open source to transition humanity to a more efficient and all-renewable power grid. This is open source at its finest. I love technology, but like most people, I have a really hard time trusting it. So I had to talk to someone who was much smarter than me about this. He just so happens to be 10 years old. Kyron Kwasi is currently in college. He works for Intel Labs, and he even likes Pokemon. So I wanted to ask him what he thought the future of artificial intelligence looks like.
A lot of people feel that AI might take their jobs or something. That's not true. I think AI has the potential to really help society, but it needs a lot of improvements.
Technology and open source has the potential to drastically change how we live and how we approach everything. From people who want to make open source voting in San Francisco or make mindfulness more accessible, I believe open source can be summed up quite simply as
the world is not a zero-sum game. We're all in it together and everyone can contribute.
So what did I learn? I learned open source is a collaborative movement of software developers creating world-changing projects together. And most important of all, I realized an open world where everyone's working together, that's a world I want to live in.